Hey everybody, what's up? Thought I'd give you my review of SummerSlam that just ended. It was my first SummerSlam that I'd ever ordered since 2001, believe it or not. All the other SummerSlams lately I've either had to buy or rent on DVD, or in some cases like 2010 and 2011 or 2009 as well, download through torrents or mega uploads or whatever. But let's talk about this. You'll probably see my reactions, it'll be in a playlist and all that. They started out SummerSlam with Chris Jericho and Dolph Ziggler, which many people would agree is the best way to start out SummerSlam, an event like SummerSlam, to really get a kick start, really get people into the mat, or into the event. And it was a pretty decent opener, there's no doubt about it. I mean, it was exactly what people were hoping for, a great matchup, a lot of back and forth. My thing was, as you heard in my reactions to it, was if they wanted to continue Ziggler's success, let him win. If they wanted to let Jericho go out on top, before he leaves for a while, let him win, and show that he could still win the big one. And that's exactly what they did. Jericho got Ziggler in the middle of the ring for the second time and hooked in the the Lion Tamer, or the Walls of Jericho, whatever you want to call it, and Ziggler tapped out. Now, some people might say that hurts Ziggler. It doesn't. It really doesn't hurt Ziggler that much. I mean, if he still has the briefcase, at least he still has a chance to be built. I think what it was, honestly, is they wanted to let Chris go out on a high note, so at least he could say, look, he may be gone for a little while, but at least he still shows that he's got it. The next match was Daniel Bryan and Kane one-on-one. Decent match as well, decent big man versus little man match. And surprisingly, Daniel Bryan came out with the win. Basically what happened during the match, Daniel Bryan slapped Kane in the face. It ticked Kane off, nearly got him disqualified because he was beating down on Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan went to the top rope, and basically this caused Kane to make some mistakes, allowed Daniel Bryan to get Kane down, and Daniel Bryan was going to the top rope to do the flying headbutt, or the Benoit headbutt, whatever you want to call it, and he got caught in a choke, and Kane caught him, picked him up and choke slammed him, and then as he was about to go for the tombstone and he's picking up Daniel Bryan finds a way to kind of turn it into a small package and get the 1, 2, 3 over Kane. So what I'm looking at is how interesting a development this may be. I mean, Kane basically was in shock. He went berserk, backstage, tossing people around, tossing Josh Matthews around, just went completely insane. And basically we found out during the night that AJ is going to deal with Kane tomorrow night. And again, I think this is going to play into the whole AJ Daniel Bryan storyline, where Kane's going to be like, look, you just had me do your dirty work. So we'll see what happens, and might be interesting development there, and who knows how much longer AJ is going to be the GM, or, well, if she's still the GM, I wouldn't be surprised if they do a storyline where she's put on probation and the only way she can keep her job is to go get some psychiatric help or something, I don't know. The next match was the Intercontinental Title match. Decent match overall here. Really put the importance on the Intercontinental Title. I thought they were going to give it to Mysterio, honestly, because they were in the Latin community, but I also said that if they booked it to where Miz would retain, it'd be because Miz is going to be the kind of mid-card champion, Intercontinental champion that loses in non-title matches, but when it comes to defending the title, he comes out on top, finds a way to win. So, yeah, Miz ended up catapulting Mysterio into the ropes, and Mysterio bounced back, and Miz caught him to put him into the skull cushion finale and win. So, a decent match. I didn't actually see the ending live because my mom and my nephew had come back. I thought my mom was taking my nephew back home, but they decided to stop at the store, get some groceries, and then she ended up taking him back. But yeah, let's see how much longer they keep the Miz as champion, and let's see where they go from here with it. Very interesting to allow him to win in Los Angeles, especially with that Latin community. Then we had the World Heavyweight title match, Sheamus against Del Rio. It was okay, decent. Again, another decent world title match. Del Rio was in control for most of it at times. Looked like Del Rio was going to win on a few occasions. He had the cross-arm breaker on Sheamus in the middle of the ring. And what was impressive about this is Sheamus just, with all his power, picked up Del Rio and just slammed him down, like, one-arm powerbomb. But then the ending came when Del Rio brought Rodriguez in. Kind of looks like he's losing his frustration. Rodriguez is distracting the referee to the point that Rodriguez tosses his shoe to Del Rio, but Del Rio, it gets overthrown, he misses it, Sheamus gets it, hits Del Rio with it, hits the Irish Curse backbreaker, and gets the 1-2-3, but he was the thing that's going to continue the storyline as much as people may not like it. Del Rio had his foot on the rope, so after the 3 count, Sheamus real quickly, right after that 3 count, knocked the foot down so the referee wouldn't see it. So basically, Sheamus got away with something. Now, again, Del Rio could have an argument that, hey, that match should have continued and all that with Booker, and Booker could be like, well, brother, you want to do this. It's like, well, dog, Del Rio's like this. You want to try to do your thing? You want to try to get an advantage over Sheamus with your little setup? I'm not going to reverse the referee's decision. Now here's the unique thing about this. This whole situation could also play into a power trip with Eve and Booker T. So we'll see what happens. Then surprisingly we had the tag team titles. Right in between the world title and the WWE title match. So the tag team titles were next. Which I guess kind of shows that they're trying to put more importance, more focus on the tag division, like I mentioned in my live reactions. Decent tag match here. I was surprised a little bit because I said, either way, if they keep it on Truth and Kofi, it's because, they want to keep the reign going, and also because Kofi's in the first match of the Saturday Morning Slam, which is targeted towards kids, this Saturday on the CW. But then again, I thought, well, if they give it to the primetime players, it'll be like, here, we're giving you this, we're giving you the belts, we're letting you go over to kind of apologize for your association with Bryan Johnson, or Bryan Josser, known as Abraham Washington, AW. But the reason I think they didn't put the belts on them is because maybe they felt they weren't ready yet, and 2, perhaps they're still using, well, when you hear it, in the promos, if you will, they're still kind of using the AW vocabulary. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I think that's why. I think what they need to do is kind of slowly get away from that vocabulary and promo style and into their own. Then next we had the WWE Triple Threat match. Hold on for a second. Okay, I thought I heard something there, but anyway, next we had the WWE Triple Threat match, and very unique match here, very good. Big Show, I will give credit, definitely showed a lot of dominance here, definitely was dominant throughout, showed that he can be a dominant giant. The match had 2 endings. The first ending came when Big Show got locked in both the, I guess you can say, a unique version of the Vice, the Anaconda Vice, and the STFU, and tapped out to both. And what happened was the referee didn't know what to do. This caused AJ to come down and be like, okay, you're thinking, okay, what is she going to do? Eliminate Big Show? Is she going to make them co-champions? What's going to go on? And basically she says, restart the match. And, CM Punk say, hey, listen to the crowd, let them decide, do whatever you have to do. But she says, restart the match. And Punk is not too happy about this, and I don't think Cena's not happy about it. Both turn around into a double chokeslam by the Big Show. Big Show tries to cover Cena first, doesn't succeed. Tries to cover Punk first, secondly I should say, doesn't succeed. And I guess tosses Punk out of the ring, but then walks into an AA, I believe. And then what happens is that after that, Punk gets back into the ring, tosses Cena out, and basically gets the win for himself and does what he has to win. And Cena's not too happy about this, but he's like, he isn't too happy about it, but, Punk retains the title, which tells me they're waiting until maybe Boston next month in Night of Champions to probably put the belt back on Cena, because it is in his hometown, or home area, region, if you will. But it was a decent match. Definitely showed the dominance of Big Show, and we're just going to see where they go from here, and that's all I can really say. But it was good. It was a good triple threat. Again, definitely showed how dominant Big Show was, and I'll give him credit on that. Then, of course, we had the main event, which everybody predicted would be Triple H and Brock Lesnar. The rules are definitely relaxed. There was no DQ, no countout, basically. And they just went back and forth. They just beat the hell out of each other in this match. I mean, Lesnar controlled for a while, then Triple H. It was back and forth, physicality. Wasn't as bloody and brutal as Cena's match with Lesnar, but still it was physical. You could definitely see it. Both men worked on their Achilles' heels, if you will. They're in the weak spot of the bodies, like the arm for Triple H and the stomach for Lesnar. And it was just back and forth. I mean, Lesnar tried a couple of times to get to Kimura in, couldn't do it. Got an F5 in, Triple H kicked out. Triple H got a pedigree in, Lesnar kicked out. And then later on in the match got another pedigree in, Lesnar kicked. But we'll get into that in a minute, I should say. And then hit another pedigree, but we'll get into that in a minute. Hit another pedigree, which was basically the end of the match, but it wasn't the end of the match in victory for Triple H. It was the end of the match in victory for Lesnar, because as soon as Triple H went for a cover, Lesnar caught him, locked into Kimura, and then locked in and wrenched the arm as much as he can, to the point that it almost looked like he broke it, and Triple H had to tap out. I mean, Triple H tried to fight it like he did the last time by doing fists to the side, to the kidneys, to the ribs, but this time it didn't work. And throughout the match they used the tables. They didn't break the tables, but they used them. I mean, the Spanish announce table, the announce table was like this. Okay, here's the announce table for Spanish announce table. It was like this, standing up, and it was up like this. And Lesnar was right here. He stood up, and he jumped right down with his fist right onto Triple H. And then Triple H, later on in the match, tosses Lesnar into the WWE announce table, the Raw announce table, I guess you can call it. And he hits his stomach, boom, almost right on the point, right on the edge. So, real physical match. Wasn't as bloody as the Cena one was, but it was still physical. Lesnar gets the win, which I guess is kind of good. Allows him to be one and one in these kind of atmospheres, in these kind of matches. Triple H basically didn't want no help walking out of the ring, and looked like he said goodbye, and maybe this could be his last match. We don't know. Now this is what's really interesting. Shawn Michaels still has a beef with Lesnar storyline wise. So here's what I think could happen. You got Survivor Series coming up. Who's to say Shawn Michaels won't want to come out of retirement and challenge Lesnar to a match at Survivor Series, beat Lesnar, and then probably tell Triple H, hey, look, I beat the man you couldn't in his environment, in the same kind of environment you had. I beat him. Why couldn't you? I guess what everybody says is true. I'm better than you. And that could lead to Triple H and HBK at Mania to see who is the best. But overall, I know people have the difference of opinion for SummerSlam, but I thought it was okay. I thought it was a good SummerSlam. I'll give it a 9 out of 10 on a scale. And I can go back and rewatch it whenever I want, because I have it. So that's all I'm going to say on it. I'm sorry I had to walk out of the doors a little bit to see what was going on. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out. God bless.